It's just
So
loaded.
if everyone else can mute themselves, and then we'll let the main guys present and introduce.
Okay.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. This is the 26th of June Somaliland celebrations and discussions with Team Somaliland UK. Today we've got a heavyweight team of young people and professionals. I'm going to first of all hand it over to our guest of honor, Mr. Rageh Omaar. No introductions. So do we, Rageh Omaar.
Thank you, Al. Thank you very much. I don't know how done of English and of Somalian it's very nice to be here. Ahmed, salam alaikum. Nice to see you all. I'm very honored in our meeting kan aan soo galnay 26th of June is a waa maalin taariikh leh muhiim ah marka anigu waxaan rabaa inaan ka hadlo a few points horta 60 years ago ayaanu Somaliland independence bay heshay shan sho ka bacdi ba yani union kii Somali Republic la galay لكن أنا ما ربنا كهاد لو تاريخ ذي وحيد عي last 60 years لكن the main thing إما كوحوي يه Somaliland يو Somalia يو regions كلمشان وذا تشوبنو the main thing وحوي خدشوا وين أنو دات كيني أنو وذا سينا يعني دات فربضن با every year كل انت تحريب إني قلان إني شقاب يو نلو في عن إني هلان marka the main thing waxa weeye Somaliland imika rajo fara badan bay leedahay opportunities badan bay leedahay marka the first thing aan rabay inaan ka hadlo waxa weeye wadanka imika we need dhalinyarada inaanu siino hope sense of hope inaanu siino anigu waxaan arkaa majority of the time waxaanu ka hadalnaa political situation laakiin economically and socially waynaanu ka hadalnaa especially moogtahay dhalinyarada inaanu soo gelino siyaasadda haweenka inaanu soo gelino economic activity iyo social activity iyo political presence ka parliamentka economiga there's a lot of very dad fara badan oo haween iyo dhalinyaro ah baa jira oo skills fara badan leh they have a role to play moogtahay anagu taariikh baanu leenahay laakiin taariikhda waxa mustaqbalkana waynaanu ka hadalnaa maaha un taariikhda inaanu rajo aanu siino dhalinyarada iyo especially haweenka most Somali regions especially Somaliland the dadka ugu the toughest people were women I think in Somaliland society marka I think our best days are ahead of us mustaqbalka fiican weyn noo horeysa marka anigu waxaan rabaa inaan idhaahdo very optimistic baanahay history dheer oo adag baanu soo marnay laakiin mustaqbalka waa I think waa really mustaqbal very hopeful ah midda kale imika dee Somaliland waxay maraysaa difficult moment adduunyadoo dhan baa difficult moment maraysa COVID-19 baa crisis adag adduunyadoo dhan gelisay laakiin horta first of all maaragtay appeal COVID appeal baanu samaynay for Somaliland especially mobile laboratories inaanu wadanka geyno waayo Baroness Nicholson wati wadanka timi December 2019 iyaduna Iraq bay aad uga shaqeysaa Iraqna waxay geysay mobile laboratories or testing ka COVID samaynaysa laakiin in the future it will not only be useful for COVID it will be useful for other illnesses other viruses marka waxaan rabnaa inaan to raise money for 2 mobile laboratories midkii waxa weeye $330,000 marka laboratories kan waxa weeye maaragtay waddanko dhan baa la geyn karaa waa prefabricated lorries with a laboratory testing equipment, you have refrigerated compartments with generators. Marka in the UK, marka I really want to add maaragtay aan u mahadnaqayno communities ka Bristol, Sheffield, Cardiff, London, Birmingham, Manchester, especially also in Australia even. $20,000 baan raise gareynay for the first mobile laboratory. Marka in yar baan noo hadhay. Marka I really want to encourage people in a maaragtay intaa yar oo kale waa £7,000 waa $10,000 in yar baan noo hadhnay. Haddaan the first mobile laboratory aan geyno, it's going to make a real difference. Waayo dadkeeni maaragtay rural areas ka yani miyiga jooga ayaanu u geyn karnaa laboratories kan marka COVID iyo wax everything else bay maaragtay benefit gareynaysaa. Marka I really want if we can make the last little push inaanu intaa hadhay inaanu helno. Lakin I don't know, June 26th, look, we Somaliland's come a long way. Even the rest of Somalia, it's coming along. But it's not us against, it's not, Somaliland against Somalia, Somalia against federal member states. It's not about that. It's just, how can success in one area help replicate success in another area? That's it.
Thank you, Rageh. I think you raised some very valid points, mashallah. And you also mentioned about our COVID-19 fundraising campaign. And mashallah, alhamdulillah, many cities across the UK, and inshallah, the rest of the people who are watching today, we'll make sure we put the link for the Omaar Foundation so you can also get involved in the fundraising efforts to help all our people back home.
Inshallah, what I wanted to say, the reason I'm not laba mobile laboratory and one can go to the east and one can go to the west. Infectious diseases that can everyone comes to the cities, for medical treatment or whatever else. The beauty of a mobile laboratory, that you take the medical expertise, the medical treatment to them, Already that come to miga truga, they're already under harsh conditions. They don't need to trek, 70, 80, 90, 100 miles to we should be going to them. Marka, the cost of building a basic primary healthcare facility is around $150,000, but this is $33,000 to take a mobile laboratory with refrigerated equipment and everything else, and it can go all over the country. So if we raise $66,000, but the main thing is, first of all, we get the first one there, and I think it'll get people really excited. They'll see the benefits, and it's not just applicable, it's not relevant just COVID, STDs, tuberculosis, diabetes, everything is to take medicine to the people rather than bringing the people into the cities.
Absolutely, and mashallah, that's crucial, like you said. And again, we're going to post the Omaar Foundation fundraising link, so our communities, wherever you are in the UK or across the world, inshallah, just as Rageh has mentioned. And so you said with 33,000, it costs for one.
We've got to 20,000 for the first one, so we just need that extra push of the last 10 or $12,000 dollars, which is about 8,000 pounds. If we can get that one, I think, especially Marati, dadki باع مشتركة economy كوتشي marke arkan mobile clinic sida noo caawinayso iyakaaba maaragtay ka daba ordi doono oo maaragtay nala caawin doono laakiin waxaan rabaa especially diaspora community inaanu example aanu u set gareyno wadankii we did this we set the bar, we blazed the trail, and I think lots of other people will follow after that. If they once we get the first one, I think it's going to spread like wildfire.
Absolutely. I wonder whether any of our panelists want to ask you a question, because I know, Rageh, your time is precious. We haven't got you with us long this evening. So, inshallah, do any of our panelists want to reach out to Rageh and ask him a question before we introduce ourselves? Inshallah.
Thank you, Rageh, for joining us. If I may just jump in and ask a question. I was recently watching one of your reports that you made from Somaliland when you went back with ITV to report on the drought. Would you offer any reflections on what your experience was then, and then what insights you got from Somaliland in terms of the environmental changes that were taking place, or anything else you observed, really?
I mean, the main thing I really observed was, first of all, that whatever was being done to alleviate the impacts, don't forget, Somaliland's economy depends on the rural communities for 80% of our income. It's really, it's not, we don't have factories, we don't have, huge industry. Majority of the economy comes from there. I didn't see any international aid agencies. Wallahi, United Nations, kulligod wax Allah wax aan ka arkay. And we went all the way to Ainabo, near to Las Anod. I didn't see any international presence. The majority of what was happening was done by whatever the government could do, and also, local, businesses and local initiatives. So on the one hand, depressing, but it was also reassuring, because if you're in a worse crisis for a long time and the majority of the help and relief is coming from your own community, that means you've got a sense of resilience. The rest of the time, you expect to see that Omaar, UNICEF, you Save the Children, you Oxfam. Like in 99% of what I saw was being done inside the country at the end of 3 years. So that's a good point. It shows that when we get in a crisis, we don't expect the world to come running. We just know where, it's people are on their own, and you just got to get on it. So that was depressing and heartening at the same time. And it gives me hope with regard to COVID, because it's the same story. World Health Organization, Jack Mine, or all these other people. What's being done is being done internally. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Thank you. That's really interesting, and I think it shows a level of maturity of Somaliland's government, and the long way that the civil society has come, that the diaspora has come, that we are in that position to be able to deal ourselves with some of those challenges, whether it's the environmental challenges or the economic challenges, or the situation with COVID-19 now. So that's really interesting, and that's really encouraging.
The one thing about environment that you were saying, Bilal, is that I didn't mention, is that we've got a really big problem, coming, which is unless we find other ways for the majority of people to be able to cook other than charcoal, we are sort of basically destroying our future. You go, one of the most heartbreaking things, you go, and all areas of, the Somali regions, trees are being cut, 50 times faster than trees are being planted. And we have to find alternative means for the majority of people to be able to cook food that doesn't involve cutting down trees, because without it, the rural populations don't have a future, and we're going to face these environmental crises more and more. We could be the first green nation. The wind and solar and whatever else we can start from the beginning, because we don't have electricity grid. You can begin afresh from Somaliland and say, we're going to get all our sources of power from, light, but we have a big fork in the road, and I'm worried about that.
Absolutely. I think it reflects both two things. One, it reflects the state of affairs at the moment in terms of how far we have yet to go. But at the same time, it presents the depth of opportunity that exists within the country. As you say, in terms of the power generation in particular, we can leapfrog the economic development that other countries have seen. So to go from not having any energy infrastructure to, for example, having 100% green energy infrastructure, energy framework, using the solar energy, using the wind power. I recently saw a map which shows the energy, renewable energy potential in the Horn of Africa. And apparently it's one of the areas that receives the most solar radiation and wind. So yeah, no, really interesting points. Thank you.
Do any of the women have any answer before Rageh goes?
Rageh, I wanted to ask you a quick question. Because of your media background, what would you say dhalinyarada maxaad ku waanin lahayd raba to make that international leap into becoming, I know we have a lot of YouTubers, so to go back becoming an anchor, or because I remember when I used to watch you in in Middle East, in the middle of the war, what's the kind of steps to success? Because people go from here to success and they never mention the journey. So what would you say?
The first thing is, don't get into this if the only reason why you want to do it is you want to be on air. People say, why do you want to be in media? I want to be on TV. That's the wrong answer. The main answer is everything, whether it's on YouTube or on CNN or BBC or whatever. It's about human stories. So you have to be interested in people and to tell the stories of communities or individuals and whatever else. Then if you focus on that, people will be willing to watch. But if you say, oh, it's not going to work. So the main thing is be interested in what's happening in your life, your interests, and tell that story, because journalism and media is all about stories. It's about the stories of people or nations or whatever it is. So start with that, because I get lots of sort of media students saying coming in and saying, oh, I really want to work here. Why? Well, I want to be on TV. No, that's the wrong answer. That's it. Okay,
Rageh, and
okay, well,
yes, Rageh, I know you have to go. So thank you again, and thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Good luck with
your wise words.
Good. Thank you, Alali. Thank you.
Okay, have a good excellent. Okay, so Rageh has left the building, and we're going to continue, inshallah, with our evening. So yes, Assalamu alaikum and welcome. For those of you who are in this is the 26th of June celebration, 60 years since Somaliland gave up its British protectorate. And inshallah, I'm going to introduce us to our co-host, Sophia from Sheffield, who's also going to help with this show this evening. Sophia, over to you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And Ali Abdi, I'm gonna throw it back at you and see if you can give us a really good introduction about you, your beautiful background in the back, and what have you been cooking in Cardiff?
Thank you very much, Sophia. Absolutely. My name is Ali Abdi, and I'm from Cardiff. I've lived here all my life. Cardiff, I coached a team in Africa, the local council in 2016. So, mashallah, I've been a heavyweight Somaliland supporter, born in Cardiff, raised in Cardiff, like number one champion. Currently working on a project with Chamanda Cardiff. Last year, 2019, وحقيني وضنكي إلا شن professors يجحيني أنا في team كارفة أو وحكي منها ناصر بورمة أو team كانوا حكوا شنا Dr. Ahmed Ali. Yes, so fantastic, projects man كونا. Chalina Cardiff is one of the oldest communities in the UK. We had approximately controlled at least 10,000 Somalilanders in our last census. So mashallah, yeah, Cardiff is mashallah is doing this thing for repping Somaliland Yomar Walbaba. Thank you, Sophia.
aad baad u mahadsan tahay cali cabdi maasha allah libaaxii kaadif baad noqotay marka insha allah libaaxyo badanna maasha allah magaaladaas iyo siimaano badan baa lagu bilaabay I think 40s bay ayay joogeen our great grandfathers over there marka waa magaalo aad aad isku xidhan aan jeclahay anigu waxaan ka imaaday magaaladii shafiil in yar niga yar bas sidiinoo kale niga taariikh badan marka alxamdulillah xaggan anigu waxaan ka sameeyaa dhalinyaro youth club baan leeyahay oo aan wada leenahay xaafadda dhowr jeer marka caruurahayna laga dilay ayay hooyayaashii iyo dee caruurtii yirahdeen xaggaan qabanaa waxaa la arkaa in xaafadana la ignore gareeyay marka alxamdulillah inan yaro COVID-19 jir markaan baan lahaa and siduu ugu tago fish and chipska ama siduu de xataa timaha soo xirto oo lasii jiidan baan ka warwarsanaa wiilkaasoo qoraan leeyahay marka habluu la dhashay marka waxaan israaday de isaga inta dariiqa markaas guriga ku xidhi lahayd project yar maad u samaysido isagana la ilaalin karo mataqaano anoo single mother ah marka alxamdulillah big brother baan u bixiyey marka alxamdulillah imika waxaan maraynaa 4 sanadood marka waa weeyaan afrikaan oo dhan ayaana soo gala dadkoo dhan waa welcome laakiin afrikaan oo dhan baana soo gala xaafadayada alxamdulillah marka mididii baa loo dhigay kubaddii baa la qaaday saasa ku socona marka waxaan ku bilownay 4 maantan asxaabtii xaggan ugu sheegayay 4 caruur baan ku bilownay oo ah volunteers in Nigeria in Ethiopia in Somalia marka imika alhamdulillah we engaged 125 boys we are now up to COVID-19 ila COVID-19 marka hadba kuwa jaamacadda naga gala ambassador baan u yeednaa hadba qof baa jaamacadda naga gala laakiin waxaan doonayaa inamadayada iyo inamada madow ama de inamadayada oo dhan inay noqdaan businessmen. That's the most important thing for me. And hakan waxa ku jira Anthony introduce kayo laba hablood oo walaalahay qurux badan waxaan ku bilaabayaa inanta heavyweight ka Birmingham iyadana ka soo jeeda la yiraahdo Noura Ali from Birmingham CEO the Alliance Network Organization UK your lead of inanta ictiraafki Somaliland keentay over to you Noura.
Assalamu alaikum, mashallah. Waa siday Safi introduction-kiiba way dhamayso. Waxaan ku darayaa waa iska yar laakiin 60 years bay Somaliland jirtaa. Somaliland way gabowday, way tagtay. Ixtiraafna dee ixtiraafka uma baahna anigu sidaan isleeyahay. Waayo annagaaba ka dhalanay Somaliland marka ixtiraafkay u baahantay waa maxay. marka way fiicantahay in dadku celebrate gareeyaan achievements badanna way leeyihiin anigu haddaan kusoo daro dadka dhalinyarta waxaan anigu ku baraarujinayaa in waqti yar aan haysano in aan Europe joogno oo dee si fiican uga faa'iidaysano waqtiyadii ay waalidkeen kusoo faa'iidaysanayeen way yar tahay marka hadda waqtigu soo yaraanayaa anigu waxaan odhan lahaa inaad kasoo qayb gashaan fundraising-kaas uu Rageh sheegay aan waddankeena healthcare systemka ku dhisayno marka barnaamijka kolley uu soconayaa dee Birminghamna waan joogaa insha allah haddaad ila soo xiriireysaan intaasaan anigu ku joojinaya hadda
جزاك الله خير walaalay waxaan ku soo celinaya Ali Abdi oo inamadii baa hinaasay hadaan mid iyaga soo galin marka Ali Abdi over to you.
Thank you Sophia. Okay, so waxaan aniguna introduction siin doonaa Hamza Samatar soo dhawow.
Can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum Ali.
Absolutely.
Good. Microphone. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Hamza Samatar. Waxaan ahay dhalinyarada ka midka ah Midlandska. Waxaan ka shaqeeyaa anigu dhaqaalaha ama xisaabaadka. So I work in finance as an accountant. I'm involved in quite a few different things, and I've only become more involved recently. But I am the founder of the Somali Finance and Accountancy Association. I'm here today on a personal capacity, so I'm not speaking on behalf of the association. I'm only speaking on behalf of myself, but I'm also involved with the Somaliland Team UK, and lots of other voluntary projects. So there's a group of young Somali professionals across the UK who do lots of career fairs to give an opportunity to young Somalilanders, young Somalis across the UK to meet people who are working in the professions so that they can learn how to become an accountant, learn how to become a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, and learn from the mistakes of others, learn from the opportunities that other people have had, so they can replicate that. So it's really heartening to see you all here today. You've assembled a great panel. So first of all, thank you to the organizers. Thank you to Ali, to Noura, to Ayan, to Abdurrahman. So yeah, so that's enough about me, and I'll hand back over to you.
Thank you very much, Hamza. Great introduction to who you are and what you're about, and inshallah, we welcome you to these conversations. Ahmed Ali Ilmi, please, welcome.
Hello. فيلم كان لي مغليو. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. runtii aad baan tiimka oo dhan ugu mahadnaqayaa sida wanaagsaneed ilaa shalay iyo intii ka horreysay baad preparationka ugu jirteen. anigu ree London baan ahay, ree Somalilandna waan ahay. runtii National Library-ga Hargeysa ka jira tiimkii asaasay baan ka mid ahay. waxaan inkastoo anigu panel ka mid ahayn haddana Noura ayaa daaqadda iga soo gelisay. marka waxoogaa ayaan odhan doonaa haddii aad ii fasaxdaan. iminka xagga dhalinyarada oo kale sidii shaqo loogu abuuri lahaa, runtii dalkeenna opportunity xoogoo weyn baa Africa ama geeska Africa baa runtii ka soo socda, laakiin aynu u baahannahay inaynu sii weel samaysano. iminka dekedeenna waad ogtiinoo maanta deked weyn baa laga dhisaya berbera oo la ballaarinayo, oo wadamo aynu jaarnayo sida Ethiopia oo kale 100 milyan ay jaarina leeyihiin oo bad aan lahayn. wadadii berbera ilaa Hargeysa ilaa Wajaale ilaa Ethiopia isku xidhaysay iyadana dhismaheedii waad ogtiinoo uu socdaa. halkaa waxaa ka soo baxay iminka markaad durba eegto iminka dekedda dadka ka shaqeeya xagga farsamada oo kale waxay u badan yihiin dad ajaaniba. marka haddayna dadkeenna waynu leenahay iminka jaamacada ciidda ka badan 12 jaamacadood baa Hargeysa ka jira. Somaliland ilaa 20 bay marayaan, laakiin school farsamada ama colleges ma lihin. taasi waxay keentay in Yamanidii iyo Suuriyiintii dibadda ka yimid iyo dad ajaanibo ama Pakistan ha noqdaan ama Bangladesh inay shaqadii oo dhan iyagu qaataan farsamada gacanta. hadhow tolana waxaa dhici karaysa sida iminka South Africa ka dhacda oo kale markay Soomaalida tagtay ay businesskii ka qaateen in crisis badani uu dadka localka iyo dadka ajaanibka ka abuurmo. runtii taa inaynu ku dadaalno sidaynu farsamada gacanta u abuuri lahayd. iminka dalkeena midda kale shalay waan idin dhegaysanayo xagga energy-gaad aad uga hadasheen, runtii waana muhiim weeyi. waayo dal aan iminka badda ugu dheer baynu Afrika leenahay. waxa weeye kalluunka ku jira sanadkii waxa lagu qiyaasaa European-ka quri ilaa 400 milyan bay ka qaataan. iminka bardhaweyd low yacdo ilaa waxaan maray ilaa berbera ilaa 500 aduu kilomitir baanu habeen bal tuulo hooyanaynay annagoo xeebta marayna. dad badan oo wufuudoo haddaanaan wada soconnay waxay yidhahdeen adduunyada ninbaa wuxuu yidhi 40 sannadood baan adduunyada marayo weli xeeb la mida baddiinan maan arag, kalluunka ugu badan baa yaalla. iminka warshad kalluuna maxay u hirgeli weyday? markii aan aad u baadhay waxaan ogaaday waxa ugu weynee ina hortaagnay inuu xagga energy-ga yahay. adduunyada meelaha ugu qaalisan ayaynu nahay, waxaa laga qiyaasaa 70 cent ilaa 80 cent ayaa dadka unitkii laga qaadaa. Jabuuti baa adduunka number 1 noqoto ugu qaalisan, innaguna dalalka ku xiga baynu nahay. warshad kalluun baa dalkeen laga samayn karayaa, warshadii sibirka laga samayn karayaa, warshadda hargaha laga samayn karayaa, warshadda hilibka qashaa laga samayn karayaa, milixdii baynu ka samayn karaynaa imika lacag 400 milyan ah ayaa sanadkii nagaga baxda jaadka milix baynu kaga bedelan karaynaa ama kalluun inaynu geyno marka runtii in xitaa dhallinyaradeennu waan ogahay oo dhalinyaro aad u badan oo aqoon-yahanaa baynu dibadaha leenahay in lays abaabilo sidii aynu shurako loo samaysan lahaa oo dalkii loo maalgelin lahaa halkaynu ku noqonaynaa akhirka waa halka cid waliba sii socotaa waa Afrika wey imika report ka soo baxay Maraykanku berdhawada qoreen problemka ugu weynee adduunka maanta Maraykanka crisiska ugu weynee soo wajahay waxay yidhaahdeen waxa weeye waa Djibouti oo يعني بيس كود وين كديسي أو China إسنو بيس كويشي مركب واحد قرنيسها ورونتي الدنيا ده أي وحمريين وي العقل الله بقول أو بليون أهبا سنة كي تاريخنا مرتا إن ويران صدق كون أو مركب وياس كوجوشة إنديان أوشين كيو هرسيغا أو يوروبيا تجيا إنديا يا الدنيا دولار مركب كستون كوتشرين topic laakiin haddana waxaan sheegintaa ku darso marka runtii wax badan baynu qabsan kareena ta kalena waxaan jeclay inaynu iskaashiga iyo wada jirka iyo aynu ilaalino inagoo kala deegaana oo kala xusbiya haddana qarannimada guud iyo dalkeena inaynu ilaashano anigu maalintii dalka laga qaxay dheerkii neero teenage baan ahaa waqtiga waan garanayaa waxaynu maray dalkaas sidii maanta loo baabiyey waan la socday waan ogaa in aynu midnimadeena iyo meelaha qaar inaynaan gaadhin oo weliba dadka ehli caqliga ama aqoonta leh inay had iyo jeer haddii ay platformka soo geli waayaan dadka u sheegi waayaan dad iyagu markaa juhalo oo aan aqoon badan lahayn ayaa dadka soo dhex gelaya oo qaybinaya marka runtii taana inaan unitygana adkayno arrinkana halkan aynu ka sii wadno aynu sidii network xoog u samayn lahay insha allah haddii la yidhaah aad baan idiin salaamayaa asalaamu calaykum waraxmatullahi wabarakaatu
جزاك الله خير أحمد علمي آد بد علمي ما أنت نقصه كردسي يو يعني سيدة أوفا فاهسينا information كان very proud والله بنكنا هاي وحاسون بدوني بمن وجنيني MDN Ocean Soft لكن ما أنت وحبان وكابر الناي آد بدو ما هتصمت هاي
صفية
أهلا وسهلا
إمك إنه بلو سنة كدمبة سنة كان كوفيد 19 بتشرة سنة كدمبة xukuumaddeenu weliba invitationka inoo soo diraano dadkeenna professionalistka ama dibadaha jooga inaynu balmar dalkii iskugu tagno oo qolada dhaqaalaha qolada caafimaadka qolada beeraha inaynu khibraddeena iyo waayo-aragnimadeenna ku kordhino taana inaynu samarka dambe oo kale July ama August hawshaana la galo runtii wax badan baynu qaban karaynaa mustaqbalkuna halkaasuu jira taa aynu la socono
إن شاء الله definitely إنما دي هبله يها وينكي professional كانوا وقوة فرفديونا مقلية الحمد لله آد بدو ما هتصنت هاي حتى وحنو introduce كريننا وسيدة ترادين دي وحن برنابو إن الحاجة وحلتكنا إننا نجود حوجون إنما بنلت شوكتا وحا يجا برضو كنا ديك كرتا أولي رادو أيام سما أيام بكسر دوينيا أيام محمد number 1 وحوية UK kickboxing silver medalist goalkeeper mid baa uga haray number 2 na waa inaan maskax insha Allah ma sha Allah Allahu akbar computer scientist iyo cyber security specialist marka inaan aan kaxeysanayo anigu aan xada iyo weeyaan maanta marka ayaanay ku soo dhawo walaalay
aad baad mahadsantahay thank you so much and thank you to Ahmed Almi and everyone before us as well wallahi yeah wax kasta idinki waa dhameeyay waxa jooga dad aniga iga wada khatarsan so it's always pleasure to be a part of this panelist I think, you know, everyone is saying something about the youth. I think Rageh Omaar ayaa ka hadlayay xitaa qaybta barista and what we can do for our country. I worked with a group like Rageh and I've been working with them for a very long time. I think the main point is together as the youth, together with the specialists, not just the youth alone, but everyone together. I think dadka noo dhan hadday isku wada imaadaan meel baa la gaari karaa horumarku imka 60 years baan jirnay whatever happened markii hore way dhacaan I think muhiimadda imika waxa weeyaan in sidii dhalinyarta iyo dadkeenu iskugu wada iman lahayn professionalskeenu isticmaali lahayn in dadka waddanka hore u horumarin lahayn. You know, I do computer science, yes. Reasonka keliya tan computer science u qaatayna waxay ahayd it's just something markii hore medicine baan doonayay inaan galo. I think that's the whole thing about very taboo in our culture is that gabadh baa tahay, you know, if you want to do education, lagu ogolaado education, you kind of have to do you know, the ilmi khatara, and you know, being a doctor, being an engineer was something on a pedestal for our people. But you know, I started actually, you know what, I was back home, Jama'at Hargeisa medicine. After I saw one semester, I was like, I can't do this for 7 years. So, and then I picked on, you know, my uncles, bless them, you know, Abtiashe, have helped me a lot, and they helped me choose the, you know, to push me onto that. I think one of the most important thing as well is we need to be educated within ourselves, but also be educated in different things that is not known to our people. You know, Rageh Omaar was mentioning about sort of being green, but you know, we need to have the right people, the right, you know, education, and I think it's time for us in a, you know, sorry, I think I'm waffling in English too much, but in dadkeena maxay hayday imaka aynu bilowno inaynu barno cilmiyada kala duwan, because cilmiyada hadduu qof kasta ama maanta alxamdulillah dhakhaatiir badan wana haysanaa, injineero badan wana haysanaa, laakiin what about farmerska, you know, imaka dadkeena agricultureki waa laga xishoonay, wax laga xishoodu noqday, laakiin waxaan kusoo ababnay hooyooyinkeen waalidkeen kusoo ababnay bay had farming, one our biggest token, you know what, that's where the money is, that's where our culture will be growing. But yeah, no, I think it's important, you know, for people to try different things. I think what 2020, you know, adduunku wuu socday, inaguna yaanaynu ka hadhin on the 1970s ana la soo socone, let's move forward. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to add. And in terms of kickboxing, I've been doing it for a very long time, since I was a kid. You know, my mom first took me to my kickboxing, I think when I was like 4 years of age, 4 or 5 years of age. Intii waan waday, laakiin obviously in aan shan sana ka maqnaa wadankii joogay. And to those of you who think it was just for Dhaqan Alis, not everyone comes back to Somaliland for Dhaqan Alis. But I think it's important, you know, to show everyone is important to be going back. So my family moved there. But yeah, and then when I came back, I decided to take up on again, did the qualifiers, did the championships. I was supposed to be doing the world qualifiers, but COVID happened. But yeah, I think it's important for our women to be able to do anything. But I think that's it for me. We'll continue talking later. Back to you.
Fantastic. Add you know, I'm running a youth club for Hablaha, so I'd be amazing. What do you think about the message about kickboxing is for fighting?
No, that's completely wrong, because you get the biggest discipline in kickboxing. You know, Miska Imaka. Maanta haddii uu qof isoo doonto, for example, qacan haddaan anu kaga horeeyo, iyaga lama xidhay, ana la xidhay. I'm registered in the UK. So you know, fighting was a thing. I think markaan yarayn, markaan bartay kickboxing, yes, dadku waan iska doondoonan jiray, but you know, it's a belt system. It's a system. I'm a second down black belt now. Alhamdulillah, I got to that stage. But I would have been higher now, but because dhalinyarnimadeedii bay qaadatay, and then dadka markan iska dagaalo, they used to put me back down to white, you know, back to zero. You know, I've spent 3 years in ku noqda black belt, but just because I got into one fight, but dib lagu soo celiyo white. So, you know, it teaches you discipline, and I think it's important for everyone to be able to be disciplined in something. And I think boxing and sort of any combat sports, compact sports, discipline, so it's control it. Like my anger is not as high as it used to be. People can walk all over me, I'll still be able to maintain my calm. I think it's important to, and usually boxing and all of that, anger issues, you know, a lot of those people benefit from it. But I think also self-defense is one thing, and I think that's my goal, inshallah. I want to go back home, Somaliland, now that I'm done with university. You know, inshallah, you know, in tusno dadkeena, I think gyms badan ba ofran raggi, dumarka gymskoodu waa furan, laakiin isku meel ma taagna, you know, kuwii raggana waa la advance garay, kuwii dumarkana weli waa la yaro sugsiinaya. waxyaabo badan xitaa self defense. I think maxay maalmo dhaweed waa laga hadlayay rape has become a big thing in our country. Not saying rag oo dhan iska doondoonta maanta dila, but I think self-defense, to be able to, you know, to defend yourself as a female is important. So that's my goal, inshallah. I've got a lot of plans, but number one is, inshallah, in waddanka dib ugu noqdaan dadkii wixii aan soo bartay dib ugu wax ugu taro aan dib u baro. And inshallah, computer science, you know, we need to have our next GCHQ, our next FBI base, and who's better to do it than ourselves? So inshallah.
And you know they say the best FBIs are women, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. We know how to find things. So I think
I'm not going to mess with you, don't worry, Ayan. Yeah, thank you very much. That was a fantastic introduction to, you know, your career, what you're up to, and the importance of self-defense in the Hablaha Labaro, and yeah, no, excellent. And particularly, like you said, in this climate at the moment, where there's a lot of things popping up at the moment. Okay, I'm going to go on to Sahib K, Abdurrahman Sonowo. He's from Birmingham, another Midlands. This is a bit biased, I know. The next event, I think, it's Sahib K from Wales. Inshallah. Come on, Abdurrahman, welcome.
Fantastic. It's a great pleasure to be with you all. Thank you very much for hosting this amazing event. Ali Abdi and Safia Unadadahini maanta waan ku faraxsanahay in aniga iga qabateen horta hogaanka. Last meeting ana chair gareynayay 6 saacadood bay nagu qaatay. We started at, I believe, 6:30 and we left about shy 11:30 meelahaas ayaan ka dhaqaajinay meesha ilaa kuwii TV-ga ay nagu yimid meesha. So I'm ku faraxsanahay anama doonayna sii hadlo. My background, my profession is talking. So intaan iska hadlin horta waxaan doonaya idinka idin mahad celiyo because I think you guys are a little bit stingy when it came to talking about yourself, not revealing too much, because we know individually what you have done. If I start with Ali Abdi, you have been recently recognized by Her Majesty the Queen of Great Britain. I think that's the right title. In the Commonwealth, she gave you, you know, an award and recognition of your services to Cardiff and Wales at large. So, you know, you didn't say that in your introduction, so I'm saying that on your behalf. And not only that, I had the pleasure working with you over the years, along with Ayan Mohammed, who also led us in 2000, Ayan Mohammed, who is here right now, who got us together by our previous ambassador, Ayan Ashur, for bringing all of these talented people together. And this is your legacy, you know, and Safarad Safir Usbin Luchogna, Anaki Unoyere, Sigan Lashakana, it Castan Lashakana, to be honest. So it's a testament of the legacy Ayan Ashur in Odistay. Safaradan Safirka Abdi Adlai Hirsina Wankumed Alina. ومحسنتهاي for trusting us and believing in us and allowing us to, you know, work with you and champion your citizens. So we are very, very grateful. And Safia, I know what you have done in Bristol, sorry, in Sheffield, not Bristol, in Sheffield, in terms of anchoring the Somaliland diaspora, not only the Somaliland, but also the African diaspora at large in Sheffield, and your recent movements with mobilizing the communities, coming together. So it's incredible. I don't think you guys really talk a lot about what you guys really, really do. So, and Noura, who is also here, so she was also, you know, the key and Achilles of getting the recognition of Birmingham recognized in Somaliland for 5 years. It's taken her to do that. Shansane legal galanisay, marka arinti no DRS no bislaysay anu kuna soo galay sawirka. So Noura, thank you very much for doing that. Ahmed Elmi, adigana, you know, you're the guy who brought knowledge back home. You know, you started building the first library, you know, constructing the first knowledge academia, you know, bastions of knowledge. So and it's great to be surrounded by people who are smarter than me, you know, and it's fantastic really to be along you people. I don't like to talk about myself. I find it a little bit alien. Anu gilchiran hanchiray adiga raaciro male markii ugu horeysay. Anigu adiga raacaya laga soo kaxay wadankii dagaaladii markay dhaceen. You can guess the rest of the story. Maqasha bari bay dacwad mid iga cuntay gooda laga saaray. So anyway, halkaasaan ku joojinayaa. But in terms of what I really do, I'm a lecturer. I'm a lecturer by profession. I work for 3 universities, and we're in the process of starting our own university/college as well. And you will hear more of that in the future. I am also with Brand Somaliland, championing Somaliland and East Africa as a place to visit, invest, and live. And I've launched Team Endurance 2009 with the ambition to get young people, out of the couch and start running and using sports as escape to focus on better lives, really. And sport has done a great things for me in terms of confidence, in terms of networking with different people, but more importantly, paying for my scholarship while I was at university. And I agree with Ayan Mohammed, sports, not only just kickboxing, taekwondo, but sports in general, whatever sports that you do, really gets the best out of us. And that way you will have less time to do naughty things, and be in trouble. So naughty things, what I mean by that, just, in the law, in terms of that side. Some of the graduates of our program for the last 10 years have gone to universities. Some have finished Cambridge University. Some are doctors, some have married. So all of our graduates from our athletics academy have become successful role models. This is without any funding from anyone. So this links into the entrepreneurship, and I'm sure we'll touch on that. And I will be talking all day, so please tell me to stop.
No, thank you, Abdurrahman. No, absolutely. Thank you very much. And you're my professor from Birmingham, mashallah. So without further ado, inshallah, our guests from all the way from Somaliland, Hargeisa, Hanad, Sodo, please, brief introduction, tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you end up back home?
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Could you all hear? I'm guessing you could all hear me. So my name is Hanad, Hanad Darwish, from Birmingham, London, and then ended up in Hargeisa. So grew up in Birmingham, lived in London for the last sort of 10 years, and live in Hargeisa now for the best part of the last 2 years. In terms of my background, academically sort of have a background in law, but I sort of fell into politics at the age of 15, and I've been involved in politics ever since. So I've worked in politics for quite some time back in the UK. Most recently in 2018, just before I moved out, I was a council candidate out there in Tower Hamlets in East London. But I was also a diplomat for the Somaliland government, working with the foreign ministry for the last sort of a good 3 years, close to 3 years. So 2 years posted out in London, and then the most of 2019 I was back working with the foreign ministry here in Hargeisa. And somehow, I think it was sort of towards the end of 2018, I just one morning woke up and thought, okay, I'm moving out to Hargeisa, and booked a flight and flew out. And I've been here ever since. And in that time, me and a few other friends of mine, all from the UK, launched British House Hargeisa, which is a platform, essentially sort of like a community platform where people can sort of come and engage, find out about more, if they need any more information on Somaliland, moving here, the bureaucracy, because sort of we've all been through it. And arriving here, we realized it's sort of an organic process. So when you land in Hargeisa, the bureaucracy, say if you want to set up a business or something, isn't so straightforward. So we often run to people that we know, family, friends. So we thought we'd sort of formalize that. I'll be honest, the idea came from our Dutch friends. So we've got quite a lot of Dutch friends here. They started a similar thing. That's now our sister organization, Holland House Hargeisa. And the idea was sort of to formalize that sort of network and sort of provide a place where people can come in, ask for advice. And even though we're not fully up, so as soon as we were close to sort of we launched last year, but sort of setting up our offices and the whole lot, coronavirus obviously struck. But some of the things in the pipeline are sort of, we're in the development phase of our website and sort of adding a portal for people who want to move back from the diaspora and looking for jobs and all sorts. So we've sort of been working on that for the last year, but also working alongside the British office in Hargeisa, organising consular salons where people come and find out if they have questions that they want to ask British officials here in Hargeisa that are around consular services. So we've been mainly working on that since I've been here alongside my own sort of thing.
Thank you so much, Hannah. That's really, really interesting. And I didn't know you had so many hats, like in terms of law, finally at the politics. So we might have something in common here, because I'm running for a local councillor next year. So I'm the candidate for my area this year. So yeah, so you know, hopefully, you know, you could give me some pointers as well of what so, because we're going to get into campaigning end of the year, so I might cheat a little bit. So can I bring in next a sister of mine, Noura? Noura, I wanted to ask you a really, you know, a general question where we're going to be asking everybody here, which is the contribution that the diaspora is going to do. What can they do? What can we do in terms of affecting here, linking it to back home? dadka iga qurba joogu aan ku kordhin karnaa wadankii ama aan keeni karnaa waxaan wadankan xagan ku kordhini karno. Over to you.
Thank you, Sophia. Sort of the things that you can do are obviously, for example, I went back to Somaliland. I set up an organization called Allies Foundation, which was originally meant to support people in Somaliland. And yes, we have sent a few parcels, I can say, or a few products for Somaliland communities in Somaliland. So my mission is to send a container of supplies every quarter to Somaliland, and whether it's clothing, whether it's children's toys, whether it's books, there's so many products and items that are donated or can be given by organizations or businesses that you know, people from Somaliland can benefit from. Things that we take granted for, they actually need. The other thing that can happen would be to set up small projects like Sophia. Sophia's Big Brother project. She can actually take the template of Big Brother and take it to Somaliland and put her own spice on it, whether it's a Somaliland child paired with a person in the diaspora. The other thing is that a lot of people in Somaliland would like to learn the language, the English language. So it may be that now that the online services are up, we could start teaching people online, start conversating, because it's very hard to learn a language if you don't know or you don't have somebody to conversate with. The other things that people can do in terms of is collecting, when it goes to climate change, collecting seeds. Our country at the moment does have an issue in a seed bank issue, which means that, yes, you have fruits and veg that everybody buys at home that have seeds that you can actually get, you know, go on YouTube, get the equipment that you need to dry out those seeds in order to create your own seed bank at home, and furthermore have seeds that you can take back home, or teach those skills to people back home. So there's many variety of things that people can do. It's just that, are you interested in doing it? What is your hobby? I wouldn't go as far as doing something that you don't like to do. Because if you don't like to do it, you're not going to volunteer to do it. And it's certainly going to be a task rather than something of pleasure. Everything that I do, I make sure that I like doing it. And it's come from a good place where I enjoy doing it and other people enjoy doing it. So you have to find what is enjoyable to you. And that's a very good skill to have. But when it comes to also diaspora here in the UK that want to join political parties, please, please, please join any party that you like. I don't really care what party that you join, as long as you use your political power on that voting, when that voting time comes. You know, it's not just about getting involved in Somaliland's politics. There's politics here. There's situations here that you can actually better your lives here, and therefore it will better the people's lives abroad. Everything is interlinked, and the world is interlinked. So the more that you actually understand the mechanics of the politics that you're in the West, the better expertise that you may have to bring to your people back home. And it's not about, you know, I like this party or you like this party, and that party does this or that. It's about actually what is it that you're trying to change in your local neighborhood. There's nothing stopping you in the UK getting involved. It's only yourself and not actually having that self-belief. So if you don't have that self-belief, how do you expect somebody 1,000 miles who is actually, living in very harsh conditions to have self-belief? I think that our diaspora needs to actually wake up and volunteer. Volunteering is very rewarding. I actually believe in volunteering. Most people who are, wealthy volunteer. Because changing somebody's life is, you shouldn't always think about the money, you shouldn't always think about trainers as youth. But of course, there's things that I can keep going on and on about, but I'll let everybody else have a chance. Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you very much, Noura. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there in terms of the politics, and not to be too tribal, and actually, go across the different parties and get involved in history of the UK, especially in your local council, because you just never know who's going to be in power. And today, those who are in power, for instance, there's not many Somalis that are in those parties. So I think we have to be smarter when it comes to politics and look at what our interests are. And definitely volunteering, you have to contribute, you have to give up your time, and if anything, and you can't find someone to give your time, then look closer to home. They say charity starts at home. There are plenty of opportunities, Daniela, there in the UK, now more than ever we're in so absolutely and get involved in. I want to bring in Hamza, and also in terms of the diaspora, but also particularly on development, because you're working in accounting. You set up an accounting association for Somalis. Tell us a little bit more about that, but also how can we help with the development in Somaliland? What is it that diaspora and the young people can really, really contribute to?
Thank you, Ali. That's that's a really good question. So SFA UK, Somali Finance and Accountancy Association UK, really is a umbrella organisation. So it's a loose association of Somalis who are working in finance in the UK. And it's really just to bring together like-minded people, to bring together people who are working in those professions, to then not only network amongst themselves, but also share that experience and that knowledge with young Somalis from all regions, from all backgrounds, and it's a completely non-political organisation. So that's all I'll say on SFA UK. I think your other question is probably more pertinent, more relevant to the conversation that we're having today. So I've been reflecting on this quite a lot. So I had the opportunity to go to Somaliland a number of years ago for the first time. And when you first arrive, there is a culture shock. There is quite a big shock to your system in terms of the level of development isn't what perhaps some of us are used to living in these other developed countries. But after a little while, when you stay there, after the first week, after the first 2 weeks, you do get used to it, and you realize the place actually really has good foundations. So there's peace, there's stability. You can walk around completely, safe and feeling that actually I'm in a place which is really secure. The local people, are very friendly, very welcoming, very hospitable. And I wanted to pay tribute to the government of Somaliland, which is democratically elected and exists with the will of its people. So I think it's important to say, as Somalilanders, that Somaliland actually, as a political project, is a very positive endeavor. And it's a positive endeavor because it's about giving democracy to the people. It's about bringing economic development and economic growth. It's about the environment, the local grassroots environment that we've been able to create that enables and allows young children to go to school, women and men who run businesses and market stalls to be able to sell their products, to make a livelihood, a living for themselves, to help themselves, not only themselves but also their family members. So we've got a really good foundation. The other sense that I got when I was walking through the country and we drove from Hargeisa to Berbera and then to Bur'a, is you get a sense of the climate change. You know, there was drought at that time. It was very harsh landscape, but you appreciate and you realize how resilient the people are to be able to live in that environment and not just live, but to thrive and to succeed. And we should celebrate that. And Somalis of all backgrounds should celebrate that, because it's a success not just for Somalilanders, but for all of for all Somalis wherever they are in the world. So when Somaliland is referred to as a beacon of hope, as a beacon of stability, as a beacon of democracy, it is all of those things. So now looking forward into the future, looking at the celebration of the 60th year, the 60th anniversary of Somaliland independence. And I've never taken part in Somaliland celebrations before. This is my first year ever that I'm actually attending a Somaliland event. So to know where you are going, you have to know where you come from. And you have to know where you come from, not only in the the modern history of Somaliland, which all of us are acquainted with and know well, but also the longer, deeper history. So going back to the old sultanates that were there. There's a Greek geographer who wrote a document called the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea in the 1st century AD, so talking 2,000 years ago. And he writes and describes in detail the port of Zayla, of Berbera, of His, of Maid, all the ports of Somaliland. And he describes them as these bustling towns, these bustling cities with multi-story houses, with lots of opulent buildings and markets. And you get a sense of what Somaliland could be, of what it was. And every country is built by its people. So in terms of the economic potential, I think Rageh Omaar touched upon the importance of electrification, the importance of stopping climate change and desertification, because people at the moment use charcoal to do the cooking. But solar technology is now very cheap. You can build a 25 megawatt, 30 megawatt, 50 megawatt power plant, which could probably meet the energy needs of a whole city for a relatively small amount. Now, we need to move from talking about what the opportunities of Somaliland are, which we all know, to how do we make and take the actions that we need to get there. So I think it was Ayan, possibly, or another speaker who mentioned that we maybe need to come together as a community, as a diaspora, and to invest ourselves if the foreign direct investment isn't coming from the multilateral organizations, the international corporations. In order to allow that investment, even ourselves as diaspora, we need to have that trust in good governance. So what the Somaliland government needs to do, what all the political parties need to do, so whether it's Kulmiye or Wadani or UID, we as a team are a non-political group, and this is a non-political event. But all of those organizations, all of those political parties, the leaders of the political parties, the president of Somaliland, but also the leader of the opposition, they've got a role to play in strengthening the institutions, making sure that the parliamentary elections are held, making sure that we have laws in place for the financial system, for the banking system, for investment. And then finally, we need to focus on education. We need to build centers of excellence. At the moment, what we have is private sector universities, which are making a profit, but actually, are they dealing with the problems that the country is facing? Are they providing practical solutions? Which, if you look at the UK, they've got Oxford, they've got Cambridge, so they've got lots of Russell Group universities, and they work in tandem. They work hand in glove with the industry, with the big manufacturing companies. So up in Sheffield, you guys have the UK National Advanced Manufacturing Sector, so very strong in that area. In Nottingham, there is big companies that deal with biosciences, and they work closely with the universities. So there's lots of opportunities, but we just need to put some practical steps in place to make those those things happen. And I keep saying this, and every time I speak, I say we need to become a mixed market, developed economy. We need an industrial revolution. And the only way we can bring that about is by taking a systems-based approach. So I've had an opportunity to work in the NHS, to work within local government, to work within accountancy practice, and seeing how these organizations work from the inside out is that they have strong institutions, that every person has a clear job description and person specification, and they are held to account for the activities that they should be delivering. So we need to embed all of that in our schools, in our colleges, in our universities, in our civil service. So I'm really excited and humbled to, to be on a panel with all of you guys, really accomplished people, knowledgeable, experienced. So you guys, I think, give all of us hope and give all of us inspiration and motivation to feel that actually our destiny is within our hands, and we have the potential and the knowledge and the team to make that happen. So I've spoken for quite a lot, but that just, I think it's the sense of passion that you get, isn't it, when you speak about the topic. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak, Ali. I'll hand back over to you.
MashaAllah, this is amazing. Wallahi, Hamza, you sort of linked everything together, and I could see basically what you're trying to do is that we need grassroots solutions, but at the same time, we need to try to implicate things from here to home. I'm going to go to Ayan next, if that's okay. Ayan, you've mentioned a little bit what's linked up with Hamza, what he said about the trees and that sort of agriculture. So I was thinking about the development of the country. So could you tell us a little bit about that? I mean, for trees, back at, if I was Somali, you say trees like hat,
Yeah, thank you so much, Sophia. And that was amazing from Hamza. Thank you so much for that insight. Absolutely love that. I think with our country, there's a lot everyone can do. There is no one way to go about it, but the one thing I emphasize the most on is actions speak louder than words. And for many years, we've been hearing a lot of things are being done and a lot of things haven't. And I think that kind of starts to think into, okay, what is it that we really do, what that we really need to do? So Gerber Hachaber has been going on for quite a while, since 2017-16 now. And Muhimmad Wahahed, as Rageh and a lot of people mentioned, they rely solely on the Husha, your coal. So we ended up in the more than we were obviously planting. So initiative kasi waxa ahayd inay sameeyaan, geed kasto la jaro ama meel kasto geed laga jaro in geed lagu beero. In a rules ama regulations la keeno in haddii aad geed goysid waa inaad beertid ama meesha aad ka goysid ku beer ama meel kale u dhowba ku beer. Laakiin muhiimaddu waxa weeyaan inaad geed beertid. Laakiin xataa inaanay just markaasoo keliya tahayna inaan magaalada oo dhan Somaliland oo dhan lagu wareego oo geedada laga sameeyo. I don't know inaad aragteen, but Gabiley berigi hore waxaa jiri jirtay labada qof markay isguursadaan geed bay beeri jireen. And that was very amazing thing. So we took that idea and we said, what is it that we can do with that idea? So now every time someone graduates, engagements, marriages, significant milestones for people, we've given them the opportunity to plant trees, but we also took big events like 18 May, 26 June, and big events in Somaliland to plant those trees. I think it was 2018, in the 18 May 2018-17. We've planted over 50,000 trees, and it's something that the goal is to try and every couple of years to at least do 1 million trees, plant 1 million trees, and that's been a goal. But I think muhiimaddu waxa weeyaan dadkeenu in just qof kastaaba maanta hadduu dib isku eego wuxuu waddanku ugu tari karaa. Meel kastood adduunka joogtid, wax kastoo aad baratid, wax kastoo aad qabatid, waddanka waxaad ugu tari kartaa. Laakiin muhiimaddu waxa weeyaan inaad actionkii samaysid, in aad adigu istiraadid maanta xaggan ka bilaaba. For example, you know, I think one of the things I know as a diaspora, you know, we need to engage a lot more youth. We need to, you know, we don't want the same sort of people trying to push, and it's a lot of pressure, you know. It's you know, Noura has, like, for example, has been doing this for God knows how long. Same with everyone, you know, yourself, you've been doing it for a very long time. But maxay ahayd muhiimadda waxa weeyaan in yani dhalinyar badan baa jirta imanka intii lockdownka waxaan bartay dhalinyar aad u badan oo reer Somaliland laakiin badana aana garanaynin waxay wadankii u qaban lahaayeen ama waxay sameyn lahaayeen because they're very educated, they've got an amazing background. For example, I worked on a project with one of the biggest platform in our country, platforms, Mali World Entertainment. Amazing person, and we raised £25,000 alone in 1 month for the orphanage center. You know, that's still going. I think it's going on to something like £27,000. And that was done by you know, 2 people initially. I joined 3 people at, you know, for that much of money. You know, if we try and engage those people who've got the willpower to try and change things, but also they want to change, I think there's a lot that can be done. Another thing I know I've been focusing mostly is technology. I think that is the biggest thing in 21st century at the moment. I think it's the century of technology, as well as you know, finance and economy goes. That is much needed. But one of the things I think we forget as people is you know, what happens if we no longer have technology in our country? What happens if we're no longer able to follow the, you know, the development? You know, maxay ahayd wadamada hore ayay imaka u soo socdaan markay noqoto technology-ga. You know, development cusub baa sanad kastaba soo baxa, laakiin inagu we still need that inaynu mar la sameyno updates-ka. So muhiimaddu waxa weeyaan technology-ga waxaan ka caawin lahayn. So I've started a company at the moment called Oryx Creative, and muhiimaddu waxa weeyaan, along with you know, with Mali World Entertainment, Abdurrahman himself, muhiimadeeduna waxa weeyaan inaan inshallah after COVID again wadankeena tagno and you know, ka caawino in terms of what is the best way that people can get involved in technology. What is the best way to advance our technology, to do a survey and see, you know, what our country needs the most in terms of technology. And I think a couple of years ago, I saw like one of the minister's emails got hacked by a 7-year-old. So I think things like that, you know, we've got an amazing lot of, you know, technical minded people back home. But I think we always end up, you know, utilizing people, you know, Indians. Is it because they work cheaper? I don't know. But I think a lot of our projects is being done by third parties. They're being done by other people rather than our own homegrown people. But I think one of the things I think as a group today we need to work on is how we can educate more youngsters about Somaliland. And you know, you asked me that question earlier. You know, with Gedber, Chaber, and how we can utilize the country. I think it's just a matter of, you know, the way Noura said, everybody can buy seeds. You know, the nursery back home has been a struggle to try and get seeds. Every time we're trying to contact people from everywhere when they're coming, please, can you know, people ask for phones and shoes, we're asking for seeds. You know, it's 2 different worlds where everyone is living in. But I think, like you said, Noura, the one thing she said is just however way you can help, you know, whether it's drying up the seeds and sending it, whether it's trying to do your own homegrown things at home. You know, everyone in our country have got massive gates. I think there's ways they can plant things. Yeah, and then the second thing I think I would focus on today, I think for all of us to focus on, how can we educate our people in the UK about Somaliland, because a lot of youngsters born and raised all just, oh, I'm Somali and that's it. And fair enough, you're Somali, but you're beyond that, you're a Somalilander. So how can we actually, you know, for me, I remember when I was younger, my mom was always yapping on about Somaliland this and Somaliland that, and I'm just like, at the end of the day, we're all just one country. That's it. Leave me alone. I'm Somali. I can speak Somali. That was it. But as I grew up, I realized why she was yapping in my ears. Why? Because if it wasn't for her and her teaching about Somaliland, I wouldn't care less. I wouldn't know anything about it. It would just be another African country to me, if at that, so I think we just need to, like you said, the brother, big brother project you started. I think if we start the same sort of thing, but with our Somali community, along with the Somalilanders, that would be incredible. Because I think another thing we haven't talked about is the knife, crime knife rate in London, but also in the UK and within the Somalis as well. So, but yeah, I think we all waffle. I think once we get the opportunity to talk, but yeah, no, I think that is where I'll leave it. I think we just need to push forward and just give more action.
No, thank you so much. This is amazing, wallahi. And if I can just spend a few minutes just to grasp what you said, يعني we're 15 and he doesn't know what to do. So agriculture would be good because he's very good at science or like it's about giving. And he got to the work was Kadal, so Arabian, half Arab. So identical do Yemen for a year, wake Sahel like Somaliland. Dulka hooyadu waa different and they all identify themselves as wax Somalia inay Somalilanders yihiin. Aniga laftigayga abdabi baan ku dhashay, weligay abdabi baan joogi jiray, xaggan markaan imaaday maaragtay maybe 3 times baan tegay Somaliland, laakiin wadnahayga oo dhan Somaliland buu joogaa. Why? Waa sidaad sheegtay, waa sheekada hooyada. Marka waa waxaad tiraahday despair. Aniga I think the UK despair, one of the things that they like Mali world oo kale maan ogaan lahayn. Adduunyada marketingka Somaliland waa horrible. Ma ismaad karkarayno. Haddaan ismaad karkaraynana sida bariiska yar ee la qaniidinayo maaragta baa la mudo, mid kastaba meel buu joogaa. Hub baan u baahanay, iminka tan oo kale waa hub. Marka runtii 6 magaalo ama 11 magaalooyinka inaan la soo maro weeyaan. Runtii inaan no as a tour weeyaan mar Ali Abdi baa noo yeeri kara, mar Abdiraxmaan iyo Nuura noo yeeri kara, mar Alaani yeeri kara. Marka dadka waxa weeyaan mar Hamza noo yeeri, mar Hanad baa noo Hanad nooma yeeri, meel waa qarno joogay. Marka what tour baa loo baahan yahay constantly every quarter we need to tour runtii haddaan ku sheego. Waayo maanta wax dad ugu qabanaysa anu ma garanayo. Marka there's no point of becoming a scattered jewels oo kale. Maaragtay we just need to come together. Mushkiladii waa come together. Unity baanu ka hadlanaa laakiin sumani maadna walaalo runtii haddaan la sheego. Marka kan lagu wada jiray dhiigaana dhaqaajinaya, calankaana dhaqaajinaya ee dadka iyaga ku dhintay maahane. Dadkii old kana horena waan u sheegay, dadkii naga waaweynaa inay let go so we can build our own future with the social, with the technology, with what sheegaysa.
I think the biggest focus should sorry for taking away again, but our biggest focus should be because every country has a population, and our population, 70% of it is actually the youth. That Daniyoro is, and the government. There's so much they can do to help the youth. Did you guys? I don't know if you guys have seen it, but a lot of our youth are actually leaving the country and want to leave Somaliland because they feel like, and a lot of us want to go back. I would happily trade spaces with anybody if that's the opportunity, but they all want to see something better. But if for example, Rwanda, I don't know if many of you have actually been to the country, but the way they've developed their country from just the country that's completely landlocked to one of the most beautiful countries in Africa. So it's possible for us to do it. It's nothing is impossible. But I think the focus, and I've been shouting this, I think since day one, I think Hannah, Noura, and probably Ali Abdi and everyone is probably tired of hearing me say this, but the biggest target should be the youth. And when I say the youth, the very youngsters, from the age of 11, like you said, your kids, from the age of 11 onwards, we should be going at them and, just trying to educate them about the country and why we love it as much as we do, because we all agree, we're all here today spending our time talking about Somaliland. So we all somehow have that love towards the country, but how can we have that same ideology? Because my little sister, although, she pretty much grew in Somaliland, being living there for 5 years, she's only 8 now. So she hasn't been back for long. She now doesn't know a single word of Somali. you know, she completely lost all of it in 3 years. And now when, like, if we leave her there and let her grow up there, and, you know, by the time she gets to 11, 12, she won't know nothing about Somaliland, and I don't blame her. But, you know, I don't blame the youngsters, but I think, well, what are we doing to educate them?
Na youngsters kada ayalla xudubki ba anbay laga ya an kari karene yo kinistubti iska aamu. Back to
khasab ana lagu soo baray, you know.
Another thing for the audience kana daawana ya please questioned in xaga hore xaga ka hooseysa and so su'ala Ali Abdi, back to you.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Ayan, wonderful again, you know, contributions there. And I think one thing that I really took from that as well, I know there was lots of points you mentioned, was Runti, you know, them people there and the people in power valuing our people. Like you said, you know, there's a lot of Indians there, a lot of people from Wadalakale, and so they're getting themselves skilled, qualified, and then, you know, Garba Tahriba, you know, and don't make it. So they have to value our people and really, you know, acknowledge skills so they can stay there and develop their country, but also diaspora to, you know, like our brother Hanan Okala, to really take advantage and, you know, utilize us, whether it's when we're on holiday or, you know, full time, because UK, the year you know, and so often they need that hand to say, look, come here, we'll support you, we'll put you, we've got the opportunities, and there's a lot of money there, you know, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of money, a lot of projects, so Runti, we need to definitely see how that can happen. So Facebook, we've got some questions, mashallah, and my first question I'm going to put to Abdurrahman, Brand Somaliland. So I'm not going to name the people who put the questions out there so they don't get shot, but Abdurrahman, the first question for you is, so Somaliland government often changed the mission and the embassy. So we had a recent transition, and so we moved from Ayan to now Abdi Abdullahi Mashallah, the ambassador. So how can they? What can we do to maintain some of that stability? So I know a lot of that falls on us as well as a diaspora, but there are projects that happen, there are engagements that take place. Well, how can we support the mission? That is a question for one of the Facebook viewers.
Yes.
What can the diaspora do to support the mission in maintaining the great work that's happening?
Well, Ali Abdi, thank you very much. And one of my sentin, shacabkana daawanaya, dadweynahana daawanaya, and the more su'aalana weydiisaan, the more conversation iyo meeting kana iyo conference kana caawa haysan xiisa yeelanayso. So ciddii su'aal haysana weydiiya, laakiin su'aalaha khusaysa dowladda, safaaradda la xiriira, su'aalaha dowladda khusaysana Ministry of Foreign keena la xiriira, laakiin haddaan ka jawaabno indirectly, de inaka example ka ah safaaradeeni hore ayaan cashuurino hogaaminaysay, waanu la shaqaynaynay, maxaa la dhahaa mudane Cabdilaahi Cabdi Xirsina waanu la shaqaynaynaa iminka, ciddii noo timaadana waanu la shaqaynaynaa. Annaku waxaan nahay dad madax bannaan oo bilaa xisbiya oo dhuuxa ay kaga jirto dee Somalilandnimadu iyo maxaa la dhahaa dee waddankeeni baanu ku matalaynaa. haddayna matalayaan ciddii noo timaada shacabkeenu doortay dee diyaar baanu nahay annaku. qof kastaaba siduu sheegay xalay conferencekeeni, you are all individual ambassadors. idinkoo meel kasta jooga, sida u hadashaan, sida waddankiina matashaan. waxaan la hadlayaa asxaabteena iminka internetka ku yara dacdaacaysa, microphone inta soo qabsadaan iyo weliba telefoon maxaa Facebook soo dhiga, dib iskugu noqdeen leeyahay horta dirty laundrygiina dabadda ha soo dhigina. meelahan oo kale indirectly innaka is dhacayden karna, laakiin han ogaano mar kasto inaku is xagxaganayno dabadda dadweynahaas wayna arkayaa. So we need to market that. marka haddaan ka jawaabo su-aashii specifically, waxaa idin leeyahay anaku diyaar baanu cidda u shaqaynaysa, la shaqaynaysa dowladda, voluntary, cid lacag innaka nagu siisa runtii ma jirto. waqti badan baa aan bixinay over the last 2-3 years. hadday noqoto inakoo mobilization of diasporadeena siina, hadday noqoto weliba inakoo de time badan wada siina oo sacrifice resources wada samaysiina macal, oo inakoo matalayna magaalooyinkeena oo kale. iminka response of COVID-19 yaa ka dambeeyey, safaaraddu kamay dambeeynin, waa shacabkaa ka dambeeyey. safaaradduna they were there in coordinating maxaa la dhahaa the communities. So waxaan haysnaa, as Sophia said, we have many jewels fara badan baan haystaa, kala daadsan, isku yimaada, is aamina, kala dambeeya, wada shaqeeya. Simple as that, you know. I hope in a su'aashi ka jawaabay.
Absolutely, Abdurrahman, you hit the nail on the head. You know, gacmo waan isqabanaa, let's pack the politics to one side. Somaliland is our aim, and let's continue to work towards a common goal. So yeah, I hope that answers your question from Facebook. So if there's any issues, concerns, want to get involved further, please contact either the members of Team Somaliland UK and contact the mission directly. They're very open to everybody. Over to the Hanad now. Hanad, I want to ask you a question. This comes again from Facebook, a very important question and a timely question, considering we're talking about Danyoro and diaspora and the youth. So the question here is, there are a lot of young people from Somaliland background that are locked up in prison in the UK. What could the Somaliland government do to help repatriate them back to Somaliland? You're in Somalia right now. You worked for the mission before you left. Is there anything you can add value there?
Yeah, I guess. I think, to be honest, I'd like to clearly state that I don't speak for the government, but I can speak from experience because this is something that I've worked on during my time at the mission in London with the Ministry of Justice in the UK and the Supreme Court here, the Ministry of Justice here in Somaliland, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So in all fairness, if you're, I think on the basis of it, if you are arrested and convicted of a crime in the UK and you're a British citizen, there isn't a lot that the Somaliland government can do for you. But during my time at the mission, I think on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, we'd get letters from young Somalilanders that are incarcerated in the UK for various. And you'd find a lot of them were not British citizens, but were made a resident in the UK. And usually what happens is towards the end of their sentence, or after they'd finished their sentence, they sort of ship them out of the country. So there are, from the point that I left off, I don't know where they still stand. There was a series of dialogue that was going on between the Somaliland government and the government in the UK, where people in that situation can maybe serve out the sort of final stages of their sentence in Somaliland or something of the sort. So it was a prisoner transfer agreement. But having said that, of course, we're not talking about serious criminals. We're talking about people who've been involved in maybe sort of petty crime, who've fallen into sort of a bad cycle. And I think there are, from speaking to people here, there are sort of people who are working on initiatives and setting up programs that can sort of help rehabilitate those individuals, allow them to sort of reintegrate society, for them to also contribute. Because in our community, very often somebody gets arrested for whatever it is, forget being convicted, we write them off. But then you'd find if you sit down and have a conversation with a lot of these young people, they've got a lot to offer, they've got a lot of ideas, they've got their own hopes and dreams and ambitions. So I think somebody, Ayan was talking about it, I think it came back quite a number of times. But if we're looking at the human capital, often we talk about resources in Somaliland, natural resources that we always talk about. I think the human capital is the single biggest resource that Somaliland has, both in country, like Ayan mentioned earlier on, and I think we all know the largest proportion of the population sort of estimated to be under the age of 35, something beyond 70%. But then also a large proportion that we forget is we look at people in the diaspora, right? And in terms of human capital, I think we're quite lucky to be one of the only places in the world where you've got a large diaspora that permanently resides outside of the country, that is educated. And even if you look purely just simply at the UK, the amount of things that people are doing, we've got journalists, people doing YouTube, fashion models, engineers, doctors, the whole lot. I mean, just look at the host of people on this Zoom. And I think people who have committed crimes in the past, or who have been involved in gangs before and stuff like that, I think should be rehabilitated and have something to offer to society. So we'll see where that goes, but that's all I know up until the point that I've left working with the Mission Foreign Ministry.
Thank you very much, Hanad. I think you answered that perfectly. And I think you're right, there's a real opportunity there to utilize the skills of some of our young people who unfortunately get themselves caught up in the criminal justice system. And inshallah, one thing can offer them a way out. We do have another question. I'm going to go to Noura with this
Ali,
question.
just
Sorry?
before you move on, it's Hamza. Would
Yes,
you mind
go
if I
ahead.
make a couple of comments just on
Yeah,
that
absolutely. Come on in.
topic? So I think I would be really interested to hear Sophia's perspective based on the work that she does with youth in Sheffield and any insights that she might have. But I'll let her chip in later if I'm not going to put her on the spot if she has any points to add. But I just wanted to reflect on my experience. So I've had some opportunities to get involved with careers fairs organised by Somali volunteers across the UK. So from Sheffield, and there was a great event done in Sheffield, to Leicester and London and Birmingham, etc. And what that does is it introduces Somali youth, Somaliland youth, at a very young age to professionals in different careers. The reason why I think that's important is because the importance of a role model. So we all know the media in terms of the lack of representations of people from BAME, Black minority ethnic backgrounds. The lack of representation or limited representation rather, for example, within Parliament, but even reflecting, in terms of the teachers who are teaching these young kids. So I think it's really important for people to have those role models, to have people who are visibles. And mashallah, alhamdulillah, there's more and more of them. So there's the founder of World Remit, whom you will all know, and he's an amazing example. We had Rageh Omaar here earlier. So when I think the youth can see themselves, can see someone who they can see themselves in, who they can say, right, if that person has done it, if Rageh Omaar has done it, if another person has done it, then I can do it too. I think that's really important. So a project that I've recently been working on, which I've actually launched yesterday, is called Graduate Career Mentor, and you can, if you follow me on Twitter, you will know about it. And what I'm trying to do there is really just share my experience. So I came to the UK from Holland, not speaking English and being new to the country and to the whole environment. But you do adapt and you do learn. So, and then I had people who gave me opportunities. Yes, it was very difficult. You also get lots of people who tell you, you're not smart enough to do that. You're not intelligent enough to do that. You shouldn't be going to, aiming to go to university. Just get a job, etc. So what I'm trying to do with that graduate career mentor is, give my insights of, I did my GCSEs, I did my A levels, I then went to university. Yes, I had lots of challenges. It's not easy. I was told by teachers, you'll be lucky to get a C at GCSE on these areas. So so I think it's really important to then say to people, but it's about being persistent and motivated and having a vision for yourself of what it is that you're trying to do. And you will fail sometimes. I've failed exams. We all sometimes fail, but failure is part of life, and that's not a representation of your future. It's just a representation of the particular outcome at that moment in time. So what I'm trying to do with that is just share my knowledge, my experience with people as someone who went through that process, who then went on to a graduate scheme. I'm now working as an accountant. So I would say get in touch with people, connect with people, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's within your local community. The Somali community, the Somaliland community is famous for their connections. So ask your parents, do you know someone who works in this field? If they don't know, I'm pretty sure they can find someone who does. So over to Sophia, I'd be really interested if you are going to make some comments just about how can you stop young people going down the wrong route at an early age? What can we do to help? And I don't have all the answers. I don't know. I'll leave it to experts like you.
Oh, that's okay. Like you said, thank you so much, Hamza. That was amazing points. Before I sort of end the segment, I'm going to ask Noura quickly just about in terms of youth violence, just very, very quickly, if that's okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, Noura. Youth violence.
Okay. Effectively, as I spoke before, Sophia waxay samaysay Big Brother. Big Brother is a very good model in terms of training ambassadors, young men who are ambassadors, and partnering them up with somebody younger. waxaan oran lahaa Safiya modelkeeda Sheffield ka samaysay in lagu adopt gareeyo magaalooyinka kale. Secondly, waxaan sameynay anigiyo Safiya ay chair ka tahay guddi National BAME network, COVID network, and it's actually a BAME national network, and we are going to be covering gang violence and youth violence in the next session. So I would say everybody who's on Facebook Live or social media who wants to get involved with Somalilanders or just generally young people who are in crime or looking for a place of assistance to get onto that program. But also for me, as working with the Police and Crime Office in the West Midlands, and being, a champion in a room full of all white, 50 years old, and I'm the youngest person. It's very hard to kind of speak to a control and command unit, because the policing works in a control and command unit. It's very patriarchal. It's very top-down approach. They can't, do anything other than what they are told. And sometimes I do see that our young people do aggravate certain situations, not all, but also in Somaliland, taking young people to Somaliland, I would say that they do need a boot camp procedure. So I think that's very much missing from the UK, where it's a service that is catered for Black ethnic minority Somaliland young youth or any other youth around, that they can actually have stage 1, they come in, stage 2, they get the support and counselling, stage 3, they get support with the employment, and then obviously stage 4, 5, they come out the other side. I think that some people need that structure, and not everybody can actually do stuff by themselves. And I think that the system that we are living in does not provide that currently, and there's a very big gap. But of course, Safiya is the expert on it. That's all I'm going to stop saying. Yes, Safiya.
Thank you. Aniga, for me, we've been called one of the most cleverest projects because it's a self-centered. So I don't go outside, or any of my volunteers go outside and yank the kids from the corners. We don't do that. But what we do is make sure that the center is open and the center is non-judgmental. We use whatever tools we can. So if it's a sports, we will use sports to draw them in. If it's careers, we would go and use careers. If it's a barbecue, we will draw them and then see if we can have that conversation about, why don't you come on Saturday, what do you like? But for me, the reason that it worked for me, mashallah, because there was a trust. I was available 24/7. I cannot afford lacagtaydi baan meesha soo geliyay intaan anigu funding dalban. In gurigaygii dining room table weyn baan soo iibsaday, table kaasaan soo wada fadhiisay, and I said, come to my house, just so you can see the transparency. Marka waxa weeyaan dadku waxay leeyihiin gabadh waxaasoo ragga liidgaraynaysa, laakiin caruurta inamadani waxaa ka maqan hooyo kama maqnin, waxaa ka maqan qof runtii u sheega, qof respect gareeya, qof ragnimadoodii soo saara, qof maanta waxaan leeyahay controlka adigaa leh. Waxaasoo caruur anigu ma hayi karo. Marka wax weeyaan anigu aan ku 3 tababar 4 tababar 4 iyo 10 iyo 11 iyo 30 bay noqonayaan, iyo boqolaal bay noqonayaan. Marka waxa weeyaan, it's about individual. You need to know their stories, personally help them. Ka wax ka maqan, ka baqay, ka take away rabaka, then you can help them professionally. Professionally by yimaadi. Professionalki waxa weeyaan caruurtii waa inaad ku tiraahdaa trust. I trust one officer. I don't trust the police, but I trust one officer. Wanini home don't say namadi wa kuwa, lakin ma maqlaysaan, ma caawinaysaan. Stereotyping marka it's about communication, it's about in hospital key. Marka waxay qaadanaysaa inaad as a youth worker really care about them. The second thing is to celebrate them, not together, individually. Mid hadba soo qaado, sharaac saaro, crown saaro, marka way isku soo baxaysaa. Saasa la soo qarxiyo. It's about banter, it's about personality, it's about engagement. Anigu dadka oo dhan ma ilaalin karo, laakiin give them the qualification. Marka qof professional haddaad tustid, aad raadid qofkaasaad noqonaysa, ma soconayso. Laakiin haddaad hand service ka timaadid radu wanin iyo kale ana CV ga qofka la ilaa si walaga yaabana waxba qori karin marka waan xishoonaya marka drugs is easier marka meesha ilmihi yara anu fahano one and we all work and I say to the parents you look after them inside the house I will look after them outside the house so that's it's just being available and being straightforward that's what it is.
And I would just like to add, Sophia's program is not just boys, it's young girls. And because I'm very passionate about violence against women, we've had a couple of violences around the East African continent that can last us a lifetime, whether it's rape, female mutilation, child sexual abuse. I will name it all after the, skeletons in the closet. Everybody has skeletons in the closet. We are not denying that in Somaliland, but we also have come a long way in terms of respecting women. And as you can see, our men are here today waiting patiently for us to stop speaking. And we are taking turns. So actually, we have come a long way after 60 years. And I also would like to say that, yes, there was a question about how you can get involved. Please, everybody, follow at Team Somaliland Facebook page, at Team Somaliland Twitter. There's also other Instagram page. Get involved, put your email addresses, inbox us privately if you wish. I also would like to say that I support the campaign of Free Owl. We all support Free Owl. Dawladda Somaliland, she needs to be helped. She's a young girl, and I'm a girl, and I never want to be in that position. So
any child
we are celebrating here, and our men are celebrating here with us. Our young boys are celebrating here with us.
Put off and just wave goodbye because we've got that 1 second left. So everybody, sorry, go ahead, Nora.
Yes.
Take the mute off, guys. Take the mute off.
Can I also just mention Shukri Abdi, the case of Shukri Abdi, which we're all supporting. Hopefully that gets resolved. So everyone keep up the effort.
I was demonstrating yesterday. So
yes. So effectively, and also there are men out there that do get abused. Please come forward as well. We are all trying to help each other. It's an equality in this world, and that's what we're trying to promote in Somaliland. That's one of the best things that we promote in Somaliland.
Yes, absolutely. To protect the girls, we must educate the guys. So we educate the guys, the violence of the girls will go
Absolutely.
less.
It's idea like so create, so good.
Education
both ways. Minute kan halkaas ku dhamaanay mise sheekadu way noo sii soconaysaa?
I don't know. Ali Abdi.
Ali Abdi mute
Ali Abdi. Come on, man. Got the ground.
Let's just continue.
Sorry, everyone. We're gonna continue. We're supposed to finish at 8:30, but the question we still got some questions and answers.
Okay.
Well, at least till 9 p.m. anyway. I know it's Monday tomorrow, so at least until 9
Just to
p.m.
mention, I loved Liverpool winning after 30 years. So
come on.
Oh my days. Come on.
I just want to mention that because Abahai 2 months ago, Budin time, Marka 30 years was Sugay championship can. Marka who's gonna tell her whoa, Marka I don't know nothing about football, but my dad's team, obviously 30 years, so just mention it in there. Just
all the Liverpool fans will be really happy with you.
That with the red we have the red in the flag, so effectively Somaliland is celebrating Liverpool as
Come on.
By the way, disclaimer, I hate all football.
The one thing I want to
might have just lost brownie points there, Nora.
One thing I have to tell you, alhamdulillah, and a mother youth and and we play all sports. They have no idea. I don't know jack about sports. I don't know how many players supposed to be on the football. I'm like, come on, guys, we're going football. To make it, you got to fake it. That's what women are very good at, So yeah.
Thank you for being very patient, Ali Abdi. Over to you.
No. Thank you guys for being honest. Now you know nothing about football. Anyway, thank you. So we have some further questions on Facebook. Inshallah, we'll end the show at least until 9 o'clock. So we've got another 25 minutes. So what I'm going to ask all the panelists, please, I know you're passionate about your topics and the question, short, sharp, maybe 2-minute answers now for some of the last few questions. And it's a very important question. has come in, and there's a few people who've asked this question in different ways. We've got audiences, and people are saying where they're from. So in New York, Belgium, obviously the UK as well. So one of the questions is all about the diaspora. And we go and set up businesses, we go and do entrepreneurship. Like in Mahadkafai, somewhere they go in partnership with so to help prevent them as well from feeling a bit of anxiety towards us. So how can we work in partnership and do projects together with the young people there? So I'm going to bring Ayan in first, and then hopefully Hanad, Hamza, and Brand Somaliland also can join in. So there's open discussion, but please short, sharp, 1 to 2 minutes.
Thank you, Arthur. One of the things I saw is somebody actually mentioned about the diaspora. Horta mid baa muhiim inaad ogaataan, the diaspora doesn't have all the answers. Anagu ma lihin maanta annaga jawaabaha dhan idii hayna, annaga maanta waxoo dhan garanayna, annaga waxoo dhan idin tababarayna. Maanta waxaa joogaba dad annaga naga cleversan. There's so many people oo ana haysan anagu laga yaaba inaan ka yara opportunity fiicnayn, laakiin maxay ahaydey maanta jira iyagona opportunity ka haysan haddana meelo naga sareyso meelo naga khatarsan gaadhay. Reason anigu obviously maxay ahaydey actually, you know, every time aan tago wadanka, I always make sure I work with a group. Aad ban groupyo badan oo back home u shaqeeyaan. It's very important in la isla shaqeeyo. I think muhiimadda, one of the things in haysta waxa weeyaan, because we don't have that network, we don't have that main connection, maxay ahaydey dadkii si fiican iskuma wada garanayaan, lama garanayo dadka UK cidda ku jirta, dadka UK ma kala wada garanayaan dadkii wadanka back home jooga. I think badana dadku anay soo maraanba, most of us, they say, can you connect me to that person, especially Abdurrahman, he does that a lot. But I think one of the things anu sameeyo waxa weeyaan inaan dadka dhalinyar markaan wadanka ku noqday markasta dadka waan la soo saaxiiba, in a connection ka iyo trust ka la sameeyo. And I think it's you know, we always need to know that nobody has all the answers. We're not saying the diaspora. I think we just need to make it very clear the diaspora, because we've seen so many questions, you know, about the diaspora. You know, we're just born in a different country, or we're just from a different country. It doesn't mean that we know it all. But I think one thing we need to do is Team Somaliland, like Noura said, everybody just follow Team Somaliland. Get you know, message them, you know, give us messages. And I think that's a way of us building that connection. And inshallah, you know, there's so many groups back home. I always say this, you know, Get Better Somaliland, Life Makers, you know, Sirad Initiative, which is an amazing, you know, recently been launched about women and, you know, educating women about pretty much everything. You know, it's important, you know, to know about those organizations. And once we know about those organizations, then we can collaborate with them. And I think that should be our next way forward. But yeah, I think, you know, that's as long as we know that there are people like that out there and there's people that we can learn from, I think it just becomes easier. But yeah, I think everybody pretty much knows me on social media, but all of our social medias will put on the page. Just follow us on that. If you have anything personal to ask us, but vice versa. If you think there's something you can help us with, message us. We're more than happy to hear from you guys. But thank you. Over to you, Ali.
No, thank you very much. I think you real good opportunities there. You mentioned about collaborations, and how you're connecting people up. So mashallah, keep that up. So I want to bring in Hanad to answer that as well, because obviously you're on the ground. I know you're not speaking for everybody, but how can people collaborate with the Somalilanders who are there, who often can't leave the country, but might have some resource for some ideas?
No, of course. Soomaaliga ku tijaabinaya Ingiriis baan ku wada intii oo dhan. No, I mean waxa jira runta wanaagsan eeg. Like Ayan said, there's web buuxan dhalinyarada maaragtay wax ka qabanaysa dalkii degan, you know, born and raised and educated in Somaliland. And I'll be honest, runta wanaagsan way buux dhaafan, you know, Get Better soo taabatay Sirad Initiative, Fatxi Baasha working on SDGs, iminka maxaa la yidhahdaa, you know, more regionally, you know, branching out Ethiopia, Djibouti, dowladda la shaqeynaya. You know, so you have a lot of young people wadanka jooga, حتى نقطة dhinaca akhriska, dhinaca bugaagta, the arts. So I think if it's sort of lot of us in the diaspora want to come back and sort of set up initiatives and stuff. I think marka koobaad waxaan oran lahaa simple Google search, Facebook, Twitter meesha doontaan noqoto raadi dhalinyarada doonaysa waddanka inaad ka hirgelisa qabato waddankii joogtaa ma jirtaa haddii su-aashu tahay ha caawiya kobciya dhaqaale la ururiya you know waayo runta badanka wanaagsane dalkeena dee let's be honest culturekeena badanaa anigu siiba dhalinyarada waliba taabanaya badanaa waxay waa dhalinyarada tahay submarkaaga you know dhalinyaraduna ma dhamaato dalkeena wadiga arkay konton jarrada baa lagu leeyahay waa dhalinyaro marka eeg wax meesha taalla you know marka eeg kuwaas aynaga mudan at the end of the day I think that's one way in which you can collaborate the other way meesha imanaya waxa weeyaan if you look at iminka the Somaliland Diaspora Department xafiiska qofka jooga you know young in place now ambassador to London Abdi Abdullahi baa ka horreeyay we've got somebody who's quite young there now he's team wanaagsan oo jooga marka in badan waxaa la isweydiin jiray qofka jooga xagee ku soo hagaagan you know maxay qabtaan and I think now we're starting to see some movements. Finally, we're sort of setting up the different diaspora groups here. The first two were British House and Holland House. From what I know, the Canadians are organizing themselves. So the diaspora department had sort of a policy in place for quite a long time, where it never came to fruition, but finally came to fruition sort of last year, I guess, of sort of introducing diaspora groups, country specific, but then you've got one for each country. So dadka reer UK meel bay isku soo rari karaan the idea is that every year you've got a new executive so waa meelaan wax ku soo biirin karayno dadka isugu keeni karayno hadda doonaysa waddanka wax laga qabsado but also I would say the traditional methods you know charity starts at home you know reach out qof waliba fahmayo wuxuu leeyahay helo dalkii jooga la xidhiidh iyaga waraysta you know marka dee siyaabo la isu kaashan karayo wax loo wada qabsan karaa way fara badan yihiin siyaabaha la isu kaashan karaa wax loo qabsan karaa laakiin badanaa waan ugu xanuun lahaa intaydan haddana markiga tago meesha wax bilaabin ama idinku keenin raadiya dad ma jira reer Somaliland oo dalka degan oo ama qurbaa ka madalan kaga soo reeyaan ama qolqoljoog markooda ahaadaan oo waxaan wada marka iyaga caawiyo kobciya way badanaa waxaan isku naqanay you know this organization kan ama this lack of connection and ka sheekeynayno waxa ka dhashay isbarbaryac waxa la yiraahdo marmar way wanaagsan tahay COVID-19 imika wada ka baxayna gurmadkii Soomaaliland arkayna you know the amount of fundraising on social media Like at the same time, when it's a concerted effort that's sort of streamlined, it's a lot more effective. So I think these are some of the ways. Utilize a mixture of sort of informal networks, government formal networks, but we're for the
That's fantastic. Thank you, Hanad. That was absolutely wallahi warunta. And Abdurrahman, give us your thoughts.
ما هو بتاع هذيك ما دقيقة الميكروفون
لaba daqiiqo
عركي طلعت 10 minute ما هذا دقيقة horta su-aasha ugu horeysa su-aal maha dib ugu yara noqonaya in terms of youth crime ka rally ahawda si fiican ba ugu yara hadasheen waxaan dareenka dadka waddankeena jooga Somaliland jooga waxay isleeyihiin dadka qurbada jooga nimcada haysta waar maxaa isla xariifinaysaan numberkiina xijista waxbarta shaqaysta wax kasta waa haysataan ka faa'iideysta marka anu dareenka dadka waddankeena joogan u hadlaya nimankan iyo dadkan runtii qurbada jooga is xariifinaya khaatiyaanka laga taaglayay midiyaha wata diga in terms of dadka wax ka qabanaya organization la shaqeeyana you know safiya si fiican u shaqeysay wax badan ka qabatay dhinacaaga Raaqina London bay joogtaa programyo badan bay wadaa runtii cidii London joogta Raaqiyaha la xiriiraan Bristol cidii joogtana la xiriiraan maxaa la yiraahdaa ambassador Kaysar dadkaasoo dhan intaas magaalooyin inoo jooga hada Somaliland tiina ba Somali tiina hada doonaysan la caawi dadka la xiriira in terms of diaspora your role of diaspora dadkii waddankeena si ula shaqeyn lahaayeen oo dhan the organization badan baa inoo yaalo waa la wada shaqeeyaa Holland House, British House, Hargeysa House, German House, ilaa intaas organization ba runtii ka socda halkaas waana la isdhex I mean waa la wada shaqeeya runtii in terms of organizationadoo dhan inaku maxaan ku contribute garayn karnaa well based on my research there's a lot to be done on the job there's a lot to be done there's a lot of job maxaa ka mid accessibility of opportunities hada heli with it don't cry about it you know so saar adu wax you know in a hebel ban in a hebel ban you know it doesn't get you out of it you know out of that situation I think we need to be very dynamic in loo calool adeego weeye waxyaabaha ina hor yaala dad wax xun soo arkay baan nahay jab baan soo arkanay waxyaabahaasoo dhan runtii should make you more resilient noloshan maanta haysano marka tii hore la barbar dhigo runtii waa rio iminka waxaa haysataa from the telefoonka wax ka dalban kartaa lacag baa ku dalban kartaa ku bixin kartaa telefoonkaaga awalna waxba lama haysan dadka iskuuladii baan xasuustaa berigii hore dhulkaanu fadhiisan jirnay looxaan ba wax ku qori jirnay marka loo eego noloshaas iyo noloshan runtii si fiican bay isku bedeshay innovation baa loo baahan yahay entrepreneurship waxyaabahaasaa bedelaya iminka markii aan joogay Somaliland waan ka yaabay runtii inta informal sectorka kala wada 90% of economy-geenu informal sector weeye dadka dilaalanaya waxa ay iibinaya waxaan arkay dad even kaaryoone alaab ku wada inta suuqii ka kaxeeyaan tuulooyinka tagaya magaalooyinka tagaya ilaa dimbuluq ilaa golchano ilaa xera owr alaabta ku kala iibinaya that shows the ingenuity and the mobility and the innovation dadkeenu sameynaya runtii so dadkan waa xariifiin dadkan qurbada ka yimaadeen waxaa leeyahay weliba waxaan la hadlayaa saxaabtay midlandska ila degan ka kac hurdada wake up dadka weliba dacdaacaya businessyada haystana ixiinun adkaysanina la wadaaga walaalihiin cilmigiina la wadaaga dadkaas tiino keliya maaha waayo waxaan aragnay anagii nuura 2 sano 3 sano runtii soo halgamaynay waddankeena u halgamaynay anagoo soo halaagsan oo 100 qodaxa namudeen ay haddana dadka noo imanayeen oranay mid la shaqeynaa war maxaa soo qabatay horta anagu ma rabno dad aan waxba soo qabanin who join us wax soo qabta CV-giina na tusa ina dadkiina wax u soo qabateen inay muuqadaan weeye social media-giina Facebook-giina meel kaste you need to be doing something marka inokana we have to be careful runtii cidda la shaqeynayno way dad badan ba runtii ku shaqeysta maxaa la yiraahdaa the hard work of others so there's a lot we can do. I'm sorry I'm waffling because microphone ka qaadaysan oge no seriously runtii isku sheegna way qurba joogay runta way wadankii waan ka soo noqday haddaan aragno safka hore marka tagno wadankii inaka waxaan rabnaa dawladda inuu shaqeyno waxaan rabnaa mar kasta front line-keena galno we need to think twice weliba wadankeena cidda joogtay qurba jooga runtii dadkii halkan ka faa'iidaysan karay waa Yurubtaa weeye qashinkii baa idin yimid
waa lagu dacaydeeyaa abde Cabdiraxmaan
waa sirata walaal
qashin baa idin yimid laakiin anigu waxaan oran karaa imika dhalinyarada Somaliland joogta iyaga inaga xirfad badan iyaga inaga aqoon badan iyaga inaga dadaal iyo samar badan marka wallahi waa dad يعني أنا سلاي أنو كل أنت أنك ورهيو مال سرع يي تيكسنيان أو هيكسنيان مال سرنا ويقعد دونان مركا إنه ندو إحنا كوكردين كرنو إن كوكرديننا إن شاء الله لكن هدي أني تبو يرى تابتو سوماليلاند إيو سند جوردن إنه إمك كده بالدقينه I think it's really important to send a message, a positive message, a message of hope, a message of a brighter future for Somaliland. Every country is built by its people, and Rome wasn't built in a day. So we are talking about the challenges and the difficulties that we face, but we have to realize, I think, if we come together and we pool our resources, and we pool our knowledge and our strength, and I mean, just look at the amazing panel that that we've got here today. So we've got Dr. Abdurrahman, who's being very humble, but actually, he's nearing a professorship, I can say. And we've got the articulate, well-spoken, very well-informed Hanad, who's right there at the heart of things in Somaliland. We've got Safia and Noura, who are making big things happen within the community here in the UK. We've got Ali Abdi providing leadership in Wales for the Somaliland community there. If I have missed anyone, shout up and I will also give them a shout out. But the point that I'm making is trying to do stuff in isolation on our own is not enough, because that way we can't have an impact. So I think there's about 150 people watching us now on Facebook and many more on other platforms. So my appeal to you is reach out, connect, network, build alliances, because together we are so much more than the sum of the parts. Together we can do more than a single person can do. And dadku ma aha inay moodaan inaanu leenahay annaga jawaabahoo dhan hayna ama annaga aqoontoo dhan hayna waxaasi wax jira ma aha. Annagu waxaan nahay un dee dhowr qof oo isu yimi oo fikradoodii uun dunida iyo bulshada weyn la qaybsanaya. Marka waxaanu hayno waan idinku kordhinaynaa, idinkuna dee waxa laga yaabaa inayd naga xirfad wacan tihiin oo naga aqoon dheer tihiin oo naga dadaal badan tihiin oo naga samir badan tihiin. Marka dadka Somaliland joogana dee idinka ayaa horta noo ah hogaankii, idinkaa noo ah indhihii aan wax ku arkaynay iyo gamcihii aan wax ku qabanaynay. Marka mar kastaba idinkaanu isdaba taagaynaa oo idinkaa naga horeynaya oo hogaanka noo ahaanaya. Marka intaasan kusoo joojinayaa, dadkan fursad baan siinayaa inay ku hadlaan. But I think it's really important to just keep that positive message, that positive vision of what Somaliland could be. You know, we have amazing resources. We just need to build the institutions. We've got, I think, a few small ingredients missing. But if we all do our bit and work together as a team, then there's, you know, we're using Zoom now. We're all in different cities. We're hundreds of miles apart from each other. Hundreds is thousands of miles away. Yet, you know, using the new technology, we can do so much. We can do so much. So thank you very much.
I think 30 seconds by here. Sana, chair lady and chairman. Well, not sent in.
Well, I'm not gonna
Well, I have to. I need 30 seconds. Can you cast a microphone? Order. So,
waxaan oran lahaa xagga Xamse horta ayaan iyo Hanad indhahayga yihiin, waayo haddii aan isnaano wadankii tag maba garanayo roadka la maro iyo dhinac loo raaco. Diasporageenu meel ay ku socdaan ma garanayaan. Bilaa Somaliland dadkeeda haddaanayna caawin oona tusin roadka oo aanayna tusin meelaha lagu dhacayo, dee dhagax baad ku dhici kartaa, waxbaa waad lumaysaa. meel aan garanayno ma aha, waa meel aan dhisanayno dee waalidkaygii iyo waalidkoodba ay usoo tabcoodeen. Marka waxaan leeyahay dumar iyo ragga Somaliland waan idin baahannahay sidaad idinkuba noogu baahan tihiin. Haddii aad rabtaan inaad na caawisaanna dee annagu wax volunteer la yidhaahdaan ku shaqaynaa. Volunteerkuna dee wuxuu helaa volunteer expense, shaah, sharaab, sandwich, intaa dee waa la helaya, maad fahanti. Laakiin lama helayo Nike shoes iyo Versace iyo Louis Vuitton iyo 500 oo diric lasoo siiyo iyo ma la helayo waxa, ma garanaysaa. Laakiin waxaan wada helaynaa dee wax yar oo dee macaan oo qurux badan oo dee aan idinla wadaagno.
waa mahadsantahay Nuura.
Waan idin baahannahay, bal yara sugniyow. idinkana waan idin baahannahay
ku dhaqsada
oo hablaha Somaliland sidaasaa nimanka loola hadlaa.
maalintiina waa salaasada ilaawina salaasada weeye Tuesday
ayaan markay kickboxing aniga i baraysaa ugu horeysa waxaan ku ninkii iga soo horbaxa wasiirna ha noqdo ha noqdo askari ama ha noqdo inay yaro afar jira, wallahi billahi halkaasaan ku garaacaya. waxa weeyaan dumarku waa inay bartaan sida ragga la isaga celiyo, ragguna waa inay bartaan siday dumarka uga dambeeyaan. sidaasaa Somaliland ku shaqaynaysa.
I think before you go, I'm just gonna one thing, but I know kuso gabagabeynaya because waqti badan ma haysano imaka last 5 minutes kiba hadhay. I'll give you the last 5 minutes, 2 minutes ma ka qaadanaya. I think muhiimadu waxa weeyaan, like everyone said, dumarkeena iyo dhalinyarteena iyo I mean bulshadeena oo dhanba wixii aan u tari karno. And yes, dhalinyare waa la isku wada baahan yahay dhammaanteen. haddaynu iska can qabanno meel fog baynu gaari karnaa. dadkeena I think one of the questions and in badan la weydiinay waxa ahayd politicska, maxay groupkan intiinani politics we ku wada jiraan. Everyone on here is part of they all have a view in terms of politics. We ka qayb gali karaan, especially politics ka Somaliland, laakiin position ay ku galaan ama reason ay ku galaan maybe some of them maanta ma haystaan. Lakin inaga beri ka maalin samaysan karna our own, and that's the goal, our own party or our own youth party. Inaynu samaysano inaynu inagu qaybteena ka qabsano wadanka, waxaynu tari karna iyo change kanu samayn karnana halkaan ka samayno. Laakiin maanta haddaynu ku socono sidii beriga hore lagu socday, dadkeenu ku socdeen iyo waalidiinteen iyo dadkii naga waaweynaa ku socdeen, dee maanta iskala meeshaan taagnayn baan taagnaanaynaa. Laakiin markaa muhiimaddu waxa weeye inteena dhalinyarta ahay wixii aad marna ha ka xishoonina inaad xaqiina soo qaadataan qof kastaaba xaq buu waddankiisa ku leeyahay qof kastaaba qofka ka sareeya xaq buu ku leeyahay ina maanta lagugu dul socdo ina maanta lagugu yiraahdo aamus waa lagaa wen yahay ma jirto haddii wax saxsan aad haysatid la hortag la fadhiiso la dhig u sheeg wixii khaldan haddii qaadan kar waayana de iyaga taasi khalad ku tahay because dadkan inoo dowladdahay inagayna represent garaynayaan dadkay maanta u taagan yihiin ay maanta soo korinayaan waa dhalinyarta iyo dadkeena maanta haddayna dhegaysan waayaanna marka iyagay khaladka ku tahay one last thingna waxa weeyaan Noura has said it so many times dumarkeena ina maanta weli lagu jiro maxay ahayday dumarow dad ka dambeeya iyo dumarow maxay ahayday dumar baa tiina barta iska fadhiista maanta ma jirto maxay ahayday 2020 baa la maraya inagoo diinteena rasuulka sallallahu alayhi wasallam himself ayaa maxay ahayday the biggest respect siin jiray dumarka oo ka dambeyn jiray marka maanta inagu yana rasuulkii gaari karayn inaan dadkeena gaf u geyno inaynu maanta dumarkii la kufsado in maxay ahayd raggii inta dumarkii la kufsado haddana raggii loo aamusiinayo taasi xaq maaha marka maxay ahayday dhalinyartana back home wallahi some of the most amazing people ayaa jooga waddankeena they're doing something incredible inaynu warabarbar raacna maaha hanad siduu yidhi qof kastaaba inuu meel wax ka qabsada maaha wixii jira aynu isla wada qabanno aynu hal wax ku wada eekaano maalin kastaba sanad kastaba project aynu xooga saarno meel aynu kaga soo baxno inaynu legacy aynu raabno weeyaan inaynu maxaa ahayd waxaasu beri yidhi inay waxaasay beri tiri inaynu maanta ku shaqaysano maaha marka insha allah aniguna intaasay kaga eeg tahay laakiin please feel free inaad nala soo contact garaysaan aynu isla shaqeyno toddobadeedaas waa all individuals 8 people on here all of us are all different individuals waxbaynu isla qaban karnaa maxaa yeelay marka anaguna hanagu eegina maxaa yeelay intiina wax qabsanaysaana please qof kastaba maanta ha u sameynina wax sidaad magac ugu heshaan ha u sameynina wax sidaad lacag ugu heshaan u sameeya wadani jacayl u sameeya maxaa yeelay waxaad waddankaada iyo dadkaada aad reer rabtid biri ka maalin caruurtaada ku dhalanaysa biri ka maalin iyagaa kusoo koraya maxaa yeelay meel aad adigu doontid caruurtaada inay ku korto u samee markaad waddanka saa ka dhigtid aad saa ugu fikirtid waddan khatar aynu noqon karnaa marka maxaa yeelay organization qof kastaaba maalin kastaba new organization samaysanayo inaga daaya maxaa yeelay organizationna kale already jira kuwaas wixii aad la qaban kartaan dadkeena isfahan la-aan baa in badan ku dhacday laakiin maanta haddaynu maadaama aynu dhalinyarnahay aynu isfahanno inagu aan waxaynu qabsan karno qabsano but yeah Abdurrahman is probably itching himself to I'll just
sorry Ayane, I really appreciate that. And we go way back, and when you look at that, it speaks volume. I rather come back to you on that one. And waxa jira organization jira. Hadde boss ka weydan, don't wait for nobody. Start your own organization. Your own organization. Hadda cid dhageyso weydid samicad samaysta wala idinku maqlo. And one of the challenges anagu aan aragno waxa weyn waxbarashada taa daraadeed anagu jaamacadda iminka furnay la yiraahdo Midlands Schools of Commerce Google gareeya nala soo xiriira cidii doonaysa inay wax barataan dhinaca businesska dhinaca commerce-ka dhinaca development-ka oo dhan waan wada shaqayn karnaa iskuulada halka ku yaala jaamacadaha halka ku yaala iminka kale ayaan iminka hadlaysay waxay soo casuumtay waddankeenii 6 dhalinyaro ka soo casuumtay oo jaamacadeeda waliba la xidhiidhay oo ka soo kaxaysay waddankii Somaliland waliba PhDs masters degrees uma malaynayo runtii inay ka hadashay intaas laakiin annaka u og ayaan waxay noo soo qabtay ayaan maxamed inantii iminka hadlaysay la socda markaas dad badan baa jira inoo dadaalaya dhinaca dhalinyarta runta hadaan ku sheegno hibaaq baa jirta iyaduna hibaaq maydalalis oo iyaduna waddankii ku noqotay oo la shaqeyso oo inana oo de engineer waliba architect oo inay tahay lagu faani karo we have many role models like hibaaq oo kale oo ka qayb galay who don't take bullshit they don't take bullshit if they aragtid wax khalada meesha yaala draw the line You know, you cannot be too nice.
We're gonna have to draw the line here because
And if you're too nice, people will walk over you. You throw the line somewhere.
Yeah. Thank you علي. أنا واحد دوني كقبحوا عربت وحي ترادا اللي ما عنده كبير يشتري كبير. Whoever doesn't have a mentor, go and buy a mentor. مركا وحويا please واسدي أيام ترادي gossip كي وحال إسكدايو وحويا هبلايا فرتا أتاكس ما تقانا ماشي تقوى دي ويان مركا وحويا واحد أدوكو تقانتين مهرات كدقو واحد أدوكو تعيشها مهرات كدقو مركا جامعة دي هي واحد always way هستان resources أنا واحد حوق قلنيا عروتا شارع مريسا عروتا in low class عروتا ما تقانا poverty كواس إن سيدا عقف وصو دولك كسو قادنو عركا جينو ويان عنتي كرنيني فرتي كرنيني لكن مسكحتو سيدا وشقينيسو أنا قلنا حقا سنة بحي رشا في لدانا هاي علي عبدي do you want to take us to the last kumbaya song?
I think Nora just wants to say in Welsh.
Yeah.
over to Nora first, who wants to
the Welsh boy is gonna speak at the end. He likes the last for the and waxaan oran lahaa Tuesday we've got our final conference on Tuesday at 6:30. It's the best one out of the three. It's to celebrate Somaliland women in all its forms. Please come and join. If any woman who has a business, who's a politician, who is anything, wants to get involved, let us know before that. And the cutoff date is on Monday. So inshallah, we will see you all again Tuesday. I'm the host with Safia, and hopefully Ayan will be there and anybody else who wants to join.
What time on Tuesday, Noura?
6:30.
6:30. 6:30. Ali Abdi, Welsh. Goodbye.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, everybody.
Everybody, diolch yn fawr iawn.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to Rageh Omaar for being with us this evening.
Yes.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, all our guests who are in the building.
Thank you, Rageh. Yes.
They were excellent. Somaliland.
Bye.